just couldn't wait to talk to you. You know, I don't usually bother you when you have a patient.
My last patient just left. I'm about to leave myself in about a half an hour, so whatever it is, we can talk about it all.
Whatever it is, you know what it is. You left this morning before I woke up.
Nicole, I had a patient going into early surgery. I left for the hospital at 7 a.m. As for the rest of the day...
As for the rest of the day, you wouldn't answer any of my calls, honey. You never done
Nicole,
that.
I was too busy. Besides, what we had to discuss, I thought we ought to discuss in person.
Oh, you hate me, don't you?
Don't be ridiculous.
You do. You hate me for what Derek found out about Jinx.
I told you exactly how I felt about it, and there's nothing more to say on the subject.
Oh, I just can't bear the thought of you not liking me.
You know that isn't how I feel. That doesn't describe it at all.
Well, what does?
The word I used before, disappointment. I'm just disappointed in you, honey.
Miles, honey, there's more to this story than you know.
What is it?
Well, I don't know if it's going to make you feel any different, but I want you to know the whole chain of events.
All right, I will be home in an hour. You can tell me that.
No, that's one of the reasons I've been trying to call you all day to tell you that one of the men who was doing the broadcast got sick, and I have to fill in for him tonight.
All right, then I guess it'll just have to wait. Oh, listen, someone's trying to call me. I'll see you later. Bye.
Oh, bye.
Yes, Barbara. Oh, all right. Yeah, send her in.
Well, hello, Doc.
Oh, Jinx?
Oh, you should see yourself. You look positively ill. That's no way to inspire confidence in your patients.
Well, I wasn't expecting to see you this evening.
Well, I just thought I'd stop by and tell you that everything is all right.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Everything is simply perfect. I suppose you thought I'd come in here weeping and wailing, but I've never looked better in my life. Don't you agree?
I'm not sure. Jinx, what happened last night between you and Derek?
Well, for the first thing, I found out that you didn't tell him anything. You're absolved of all guilt, Doctor. Aren't you glad?
Well, I never felt guilty.
He made it very clear that you absolutely refused to say anything about me.
Jinx, are you sure that he does know everything?
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm sure. But it's really better that way. You know, it was wrong to try to fool him. You told me that from the very beginning.
I told you I thought it was unfair to him and to you.
Oh, yes, it was unfair. I mean, to saddle him with a dying woman? No, it's much better this way. Don't you think?
How'd the conversation end? I mean, what'd you decide?
Well, we decided to do the practical thing.
Which is what?
To go our separate ways, of course.
Is that a mutual decision?
No, it was my decision. I didn't want him to marry me just out of pity.
Did he offer to do that?
Look, Miles, it's much better this way. I mean, I think it's better that we forget that it ever happened. It's better for him, obviously, and I think it's better for me, too.
In what way? Tell me in what way?
Marriage is very time-consuming, and I don't have that much time.
Jinx,
you have
now
to
you're
admit
not being fair to yourself. Now, why not give Derek the chance to decide what he wants to do?
Because he's in no condition to decide anything. If you could have seen the way he looked at me, as if I were a bomb ready to explode. If you could have seen the pain in his eyes. Do you think I could look into those eyes every day for the rest of my life? No, of course not. That life is going to be too short. I'm going to have to spend the rest of my time preparing myself. I think I'll read all the books that I always promised myself I would read. Maybe the Bible. Yes, that's a good idea. And some poetry. Yes, I've always loved poetry. As a matter of fact, I read a poem this afternoon. Ode to a Nightingale. It's by Keats. Do you know it?
No, I don't think I do.
Well, it's not what you think. It sounds very light-hearted, but it isn't. You know, you can learn a great deal from poetry. go now.
Jinx, wait a minute.
No, I've got things to do. I have to, finish the poem.
Just a second. Be right there. Well, hi.
Hi, I brought you flowers.
Whoa, for me. Thank you.
Yeah, I wasn't exactly sure about the protocol when a woman picks up a man for a date, so I brought you flowers.
Well, it's starting out just fine.
Gee, it's a nice place you have here.
Thanks. I think such consideration should be rewarded, don't you? How about a little wine before we go out?
Okay. I want you to know this goes against my principles. My mother would probably have a fit.
Well, just remember to tell your mother it was your idea. And since the restaurant's only around the corner...
Well, I wanted to save you gas money. I know how grossly underpaid you cops are.
And overworked. I just got off the phone with Mallory. He's on the warpath.
Oh, really? I thought he was the sweetest sugar these days.
Oh, no. He's been lopping off heads all morning and stomping on them.
Well, maybe something's the matter. Isn't he getting married in a couple of days?
Well, if he is, I pity his poor bride. As a matter of fact, maybe we'd better drink up and get out of here before he can think of another reason to call me back. But speaking of reasons, you sure you didn't have another one for deciding that you had to pick me up?
Like what?
Like, maybe you didn't want Mitzi to know that we were going out together?
How's Damien doing? How's his physical therapy coming along?
He's, fine. He's still limping a little, but he's, probably gonna be all right by next week.
Boy, that's really something about Skylar Whitney, isn't it? That would have made some sensational
Didi.
trial.
Why do we always spend so much time talking about other people? When are we gonna get down to the subject of us?
Well, the night is still young, Kelvin.
Oh, yes, it is. And before it's over, we will have talked about everything under the sun except what's important to us, or at least to me.
Look, Calvin, you said this was just going to be a little friendly dinner. You made a promise, and I hope you're going to stick to
I love you.
it. This is exactly what I thought.
It is exactly what I wanted to happen. To be alone with you, without Cliff and Mitzi and courtrooms and restaurants full of people, just you and me.
Oh, Calvin, stop. Stop in the name of the law.
Didi, I'm in love with you. And you love me, you told me so. So what else is there?
A lot of things, but I don't seem to be able to remember what they are at the moment.
You remember that restaurant I told you about around the corner, huh?
You said it was good.
I said it was friendly. But, I've been, marinating a couple of steaks in the kitchen. I could cook for you just as well right here. And I can be a lot friendlier. Oh, Mallory, not now. Look, let's just not answer it, okay?
It might be important.
All right. Yeah, hello.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Star? Hi, I'm fine. How how's the show going?
It's going on without me. That's how.
I don't understand. What's that supposed to mean? Been replaced or something?
Well, in a way, yes, but it's voluntary and only for a week. The producer thinks that I need some time off and wants to give my understudy a chance to go on.
I see. You sure you're not sick or anything, are you?
No, I'm fine. I thought maybe it'd be a good time for me to come home and to see you. Tonight.
Tonight.
I'm at the airport.
In Monticello?
I'll be there in a few minutes, okay?
Look.
No, look, Calvin, I couldn't bear to hear any more conversation tonight, okay?
Well, look, Didi,
No,
at
look,
least let me...
you look. I have a very busy day tomorrow, and obviously you're going to be very busy too.
The medication will have more effect if he'll take it easy for the next few days. Yeah. Sure, of course, he can call me if it'll make him feel any better. Yes. All right, goodbye. I thought you had to stay at the studio.
Well, I have to be back in a half an hour. I couldn't wait to see you face to face. I can't bear the thought of your being angry.
I'm not angry with you. I told you exactly how I felt.
Yeah, I know, you're disappointed, but it's more than that. That's why I want to tell you this whole story from the beginning.
Well, I would like to hear about it. Because I can't imagine you just going over to Derek and telling him about Jinx. Something I can't picture.
No, it didn't happen that way.
Well, what'd you do? Just blurt it out in a moment of misguided compassion or something?
Well, yes, I did. I blurted it out. But it wasn't compassion, it was anger.
Anger at whom? At Jinx?
No! At Nora.
Nora Fulton, what's she got to do with this?
Everything. You know how she was making those insinuations to Mrs. Goodman? She was probably making them to the whole town for all I know. I was just so blind to it. But then the other day when she was in my office and she started talking about Jinx Avery's wedding.
She's interested in the wedding for. She doesn't even know Jinx.
I don't know, but she said that she didn't think this wedding was going to take place. That Jinx was making some kind of bluff. She was going to pretend to marry Derek so that you'd be jealous.
Oh, for God's sake, Nicole, what kind of a viper did you bring into our home?
I don't know, but I just couldn't take it anymore until all of a sudden I found myself standing up and screaming at her that that was ridiculous because Jinx Avery was dying.
Well, you gotta fire that woman.
I did. I told her that if she didn't keep that confidence, I was going to fire her. Obviously, it didn't make any difference to her.
So she told Derek.
Yes. I have no idea what kind of malice drove her to do that.
Obviously, she's very disturbed and vicious. Bad combination.
Yeah, but it's still my fault. It's all my fault. If I hadn't told her, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. So terribly sorry.
Geraldine, I have someone I want you to meet.
Oh, but I know Miss Fulton.
Oh, that's right. You probably met her at the studio with Nicole.
Although the last time we had a visit was right here, wasn't it?
Oh, really?
Yes, I was here visiting Spencer, Mr. Varney.
I recall that visit very well. You had some unusual things to say about the Kavanaugh domestic situation.
Oh, really? What?
Really. It wouldn't be discreet to ask Miss Fulton to discuss her employers.
Former employers. She now works for me.
Why?
She's my new private secretary. Isn't that great?
When did that happen?
I decided the other job just wasn't for me, Mrs. Saxon. Not because of the friction in the household, but because I had to spend so much time at the studio.
Yes, I spend considerable time there myself.
Oh, I didn't mind that, of course. It's just that I prefer working in a private home.
And now you'll be working in this home.
That's right. I decided that a woman in my position needs a private secretary.
Oh, let me get that,
Great.
please.
This is my job, Nora.
Oh, you can do all the menial chores, Spencer. It doesn't make any difference to me.
We're Mr. and Mrs. Carr.
Yes, sir. I'm Spencer. Won't you come in, please? How do you feel, Raven?
Well, better
I did the last time we met. But please take off your coats and come on in. Nicole, thank you very much, although I must admit that I was rather upset when I saw you and the Kavanaughs at the funeral.
May I help you, Spencer?
Why don't you go to the kitchen and get the canopies?
Yes, Mrs. Whitney.
I'm sure Miles and Nicole will be calling them soon, but at the moment I think they're rather preoccupied.
Ah, yes, the Kavanaughs are always so busy.
Excuse me, why did Miss Fulton decide to leave Nicole?
I'm sure I don't know.
White wine, Mr. Carr.
Thank you, Spencer.
You're sure there's nothing I can get you, Mrs.
Nothing,
Carr?
thank you.
I've changed my mind, Spencer. I'd like a kamikaze.
Yes, ma'am.
Raven, there's something I think you should know, and I hope it will ease your mind somewhat. Both the police and my office are satisfied we have enough facts now to conclude the investigation. There will be no further statements to the press.
Good.
We know how difficult it's been for you, Raven. I hope you feel that the Monticello News has been dealing fairly with you, because we've tried to make it very clear that you were in no way involved.
I wish the Monticello News had not made it so clear that my husband was a lunatic murderer, but I try not to think about it.
Well, there's one thing you should think about, Raven, and that's the legal questions concerning your husband's estate.
He's quite right. You must get a lawyer.
That's true, I must. Mr. Carr, there aren't any problems with the will, are there? I mean, I am his wife.
I'm not aware of any problem. But since there's obviously a lot of money and property involved, you should examine the whole matter very carefully.
Yes, speaking of the property, there's a piece of property I'd like to discuss with you.
Like what?
The theater, the Whitney
Oh,
Theater.
the theater. I wish Sculler had sold it before we went to Switzerland. I hate the place.
Why?
Because it reminds me of Martine Duval and a lot of other things I'd rather forget.
Well, would you be interested in renting it? I know a group of actors who are looking for theater.
You do? Tell them they can have it for nothing. I don't want it.
Will you stop, Johnny? You made a vulnerable contact. One of these days, you're going to be happy you met Buffy Revere and Geraldine Sachs. It's like planting seeds for the future, you know?
Buffy Revere is just too smart for me, Smiley.
What does that mean?
I don't know, one minute she treats me like a little kid, the next minute...
That's right, she's supposed to. That's what we want. These ladies want to do things for you. That's perfect.
I bet she knew right from the start that I was going to ask her for money. The second I brought it up, she put a stop to it.
Hey, she's been a widow for a long time. Who knows what she's had to deal with.
Well, she's real nice to me, though. You know, she opened up a charge account at a clothing store for me. In fact, right now, I'm getting a suit made up for myself.
Hey, see if you can get the tailor to come up with another one, size 39.
For you?
For him.
I can't do that.
You come up with any more charge accounts?
Nope, that's it. She said something about not wanting my friends to take advantage of her.
She said that?
Can you believe it?
What a disgusting thing for her to say.
Well, there is one other thing, though.
What's that?
She gave me the use of her penthouse when she goes to Palm Springs in a couple of weeks.
Penthouse?
Yeah.
So it wasn't a total loss after all, was it? Johnny, why?
Where are you going? Excuse me.
Hey, Sydney.
Hi there.
How you doing?
What are you tonight? French, Italian,
Whatever you want. Listen, I heard about that money you're giving to the group, and I just wanted you to know how grateful I am.
Well, I was probably crazy to do it. But I hear they're a pretty talented group, and I thought I'd like to help get them off the ground.
No, that's terrific. That really is. That's terrific. I also hear that you're using insurance money.
Yeah, that's right. My ex-husband.
Well, he must have been some kind of guy.
He probably didn't even remember he had the damn policy.
No, I mean, he must have been something to get somebody like you to marry him.
It's all over between them. She's not going to give Derek the chance to do the right thing. Marry her out of a sense of obligation, pity.
He wouldn't do that. He loves her. I know he does. He'll make her see reason.
I don't know, she's in a very strange mood. She's almost exhilarated. Started talking about poetry, one poem in particular. Have you ever read Ode to a Nightingale?
Yeah, by Keats, but I don't really remember it.
Do we have a copy of it at home?
Yeah, I think so. I've also got one at the studio.
See if you can find it for me, will you? Look, I'll see you later. Yeah, hello.
Hello. Miles, I just found this poem. I think you'd better hear it.
Well, what's it about?
It's about dying. It talks about being half in love with easeful death, and there's a line that says, now more than ever seems it rich to die, to cease upon the midnight with no pain.
To cease upon the midnight with no pain.